This video is brought to you by PlayTracker, the app that tracks your cross-platform game library, achievements, stats, and more. Stick around to the end to find out more. By the time this video comes out, I'll be in Europe exploring Rome and Athens, and this news will be a couple weeks old. But I feel like the internet didn't make a big enough stink about it. If you missed it, when the review embargo dropped for Resident Evil Requiem, one of the first reviews came from Video Gamer, and that review was written by an author that doesn't seem to actually exist. It was even syndicated on Metacritic for a minute before the site took it down and gave a scathing response to anyone dumb enough to try it again. And they will try it again. They always do. Video Gamer is now owned by Clickout Media, which also happens to be the owner of our previous stomping grounds. I'm legitimately surprised they haven't tried to reanimate the Corpse Zero Punctuation with an AI-generated American version of Yahtzee yet. Since firing their staff, whoever is operating Video Gamer is just posting generated reviews for the latest big titles. One of those authors goes by the name of Shooter Orson, not to be confused with the very real Shooter McGavin. Can we just take a minute to laugh at how fucking ridiculous this all is? Orson's profile on Video Gamer lists 10 years of experience in games media, without linking to a single source. Oh, and this totally real picture of a person. Completely unrelated, but this guy's image file is actually from ChatGPT, also a very famous writer at Video Gamer. Let's check his linked Twitter profile. I write for a site called Video Gamer. Okay. At least they didn't put views on my own in there. How about the first paragraph of his Styx Blades of Greed review? Let me just read this out loud for you. Styx Blades of Greed is a reminder that in an industry obsessed with sprawling open worlds and RPG-like mechanics, there is still immense satisfaction in simply being a nasty little freak in the shadows. We approach this third entry from Cyanide Studios with our usual shields up skepticism. History suggests AA titles often crumble under the weight of their own ambition. But we found something surprisingly sharp here. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit of a shiver down my spine reading "we" in that paragraph. Some real pluribus vibes in there. I mean, it doesn't get more dystopian than that, right? A company attempting to fool readers into believing a real person played and wrote a review on a brand new game, which Google is going to take and syndicate through their systems as real information. It's even worse knowing that someone is willingly handling that work, because that Resident Evil Requiem review went out at the embargo drop time to be lumped in with all the other real reviews. If it weren't for a former video game staffer posting their experience on Reddit, these reviews probably would have continued to go unnoticed on Metacritic. It's not only an information problem. We all know how important review scores are to the industry at large when it comes to making purchasing decisions and bonus structures that the companies making in games. It's all just so scummy. You legitimately cannot trust a source that uses AI to generate any of its information these days because so many bad actors are abusing it and flooding the zone with stolen, altered, or completely made up information. Obviously, there are much wider real-world consequences for this, but since I'm focused on games media for this video, we'll keep it zeroed in there. The independent games publication Aftermath has a great deep dive into all the different sites Clickout Media now owns, which includes Video Gamer, The Escapist, esports.net, and plenty more. If you've been wondering, much like we have, who is posting all that gambling video slop to the Escapist YouTube channel, well, that's the company behind it. The long road of consolidation for so many media outlets has been leading to this exact moment, truthfully. If you were even thinking about getting into games media at a corporate level at this point, don't. There is no career path forward for you, and you'd be better off starting your own blog or YouTube channel. There's a cycle that all these old legacy sites are going through where they're sold off, they fire the expensive staff, bring in less expensive staff, then fire that staff for even less expensive staff, and then, when the site is completely devoid of value or identity, it's used to generate as much content as possible to make use of the lasting brand name because it's still ranking high on Google. Typically, that was done by hiring writers from countries like India, the Philippines, or Serbia, where these companies can pay them for literally pennies per article. How do I know this? Well, because that was the strategy of the place we previously worked, which I fought against and partially lost my job over. But even that was too expensive, So now these types of companies are pivoting to AI to make whatever money they can from the brands they've acquired by gaming the search engine optimization systems. This was a real job description a couple years ago. Now these companies are simply not promoting what they're doing so openly for fear of backlash. However, for all the doom and gloom about the destruction of games media, I do think people are overlooking a number of good independent outlets these days. I'm not sure how viable many of them are going to be in the long term, unfortunately, as building an audience has never been harder with platforms like Google, Twitter, Facebook, etc., all being useless at this point. I'll give you a select few that I find myself a repeat visitor of and often highlight in these very videos. This list will be more focused on written publications rather than content creator groups like MinMax, Giant Bomb, etc. GameFile from Stephen Totilo is great for breaking news reporting from around the industry. I have frequently cited his works in Unpacked. VGC is my preferred outlet for straight-to-the-point gaming news. They're a fully independent games outlet supported by Patreon subscribers. Friend of the channel SkillUp recently launched a reader-supported website called This Week in Video Games that offers news and some great feature content as well. For some options that are a bit more culture-focused over general news, you have sites like Mothership, Rogue, and Aftermath. Finally, there are a few more outlets I'd like to highlight, like the recently launched Design Room, which carries over the legacy of Polygon's Big Oral History series, which were some of my favorite articles over there. Buried Treasure from John Walker is also a fun Patreon full of hidden indie games coverage. There are new outlets launching pretty frequently, but you do have to do a little more digging to find them these days. Maybe someday we'll have algorithms that actually help with discovery again. Until then, I'll be continuing to dig a bunker in my basement for the eventual Terminator scenario we are currently careening towards.
This video is brought to you by PlayTracker, the app that tracks your cross-platform game library, achievements, stats, friend activity, and more. PlayTracker works by connecting to a wide variety of gaming platforms: Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, GOG, EA Origin, and, as of the latest update, Nintendo, Epic, Retro Achievements, Ubisoft, Battle.net, and Riot. It then combines all of your profile data in one place so you can acquire XP, level up, and unlock rewards no matter where you play. Have you ever been watching one of Second Wind's streams and found yourself thinking, hey, I bet I've logged in more hours of Super Smash Bros. Than KC, earned more achievements in Souls games than Jack, and tried more games than Yahtzee has tried on Yahtzee Tries? If so, you're a sick, twisted individual. And we want you to join our guild on PlayTracker. Put that gaming prowess to use and unlock Second Wind-themed profile cosmetics. Keep up with our latest videos on your social feed and earn your spot on a leaderboard of our top fans, which I like to look at every morning to keep myself humble. Unite your gaming multiverse with PlayTracker and join the official Second Wind Guild today.